Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about light output and lumens. I get asked a lot about weapon lights, what's the best option, light output, lumens, and one of the bigger questions is how little is too little and where does it turn into a hindrance, because some people think that some light's better than no light, other people think that you have to have 1,000 lumens or don't do anything at all. And we're gonna kind of go over that here real quick. So first, we're just gonna go right into the first 30-second breakdown. That's where I give you guys my exact thoughts here in the first 30 seconds, give or take. That way you can know exactly what I think. You guys can end the video here and you don't have to waste your time, or you guys can continue watching the video, which is appreciated, and you guys can see exactly why I say those things. So with a light like this is 100 lumens. So that's really low, especially to today's standards. Maybe back, a few years back, it might have been kind of decent, but nowadays when you have lights like this that have 1,000 lumens and are insanely bright, something like this with 100 lumens is very low. So with my thought, there is a point to where a light that's too low is just going to become a downfall to you, because yeah, you might see something, but the person that is your attacker is going to see a lot more, because you're basically going to have a light showing exactly where you are the whole time. So at some point, lights become a downfall. Now, what I would say with this 100 lumen light, I think this does a really good job at emitting light, especially for like indoor use, home defense, close quarters. I think it does a good job, and it definitely does emit enough to actually use. So the usable light is there, and that's the biggest thing you want to know, is the usable light, and this does have a good amount of usable light. But what you need to know is its limitations. I have a guide rod light here that has 90 lumens, and again, the usable light is decent for close quarters, but as long as you understand those limitations, to where the fact that you're not going to be going out to 50 yards and trying to see somebody or spotlight somebody or be able to engage a target from 50 yards in a dark place with this light, it's becoming more of a hindrance at that point, because now you're just spotlighting yourself as, hey, this is where I am, you can see me, and that person can engage on you on that light. So it gives them something to shoot at. So as long as you understand your limitations, I think that lights like this are really good to have, especially on a gun like this, because most likely your engagement is going to be within 5 to 10 yards. So with those distances, this does have a really good usable light. So now let's get into the full review and why I say those things. A friend of mine actually let me use his light. He bought this for his gun, and it was really nice of him. Before he even put it on, he let me use it so I could do this video, and I really appreciate it, because I get asked this question a lot, and it's really nice to be able to just have a video to reference to people, so I can explain to them, hey, this is my thoughts, but watch this video if you want to see some more information on it. So I do appreciate it. Thank you very much for letting me use this light. So 100 lumens. That is fairly low, and it's probably the lowest that I personally would go. I do have a 90 lumen guide rod light here that I used for a while when I did not have the X300 on here. I just didn't want a light. I wanted something, but I really didn't want a bulky light. I just wanted my gun to still be somewhat concealable. I had a Glock 19, so I just threw this guide rod light in here, and I'll show you a video here of me going through a shoot house with it. So as you can tell from the video, it does have usable light, but the limitations are a lot closer. I would not go past a room with that light. Like, I wouldn't go from a living room, kitchen into a dining room with that light, because I don't think you're really going to see much. But room to room to room, it definitely does have usable light. So as long as you understand that limitation and the fact that you can only go to a certain distance with that, I think it does work, and it's nice to have if you really don't have anything or you want something. So as you can tell from the video, I was able to go through the shoot house, which was pretty much pitch black, and I was able to engage the targets just fine and do what I needed to do. It's much nicer to have a light like this. I mean, this is a Surefire X300, and it's 1,000 lumens, and the light output is very impressive, and it's awesome because you can gauge from really any distance that you're going to want to with a handgun with this light, and you can see pretty much everything and be able to have a really good positive ID. And that's something that you're going to want with usable light. You still have to have positive ID. You can still have usable light and be able to see something, but you want to be positive about what you're shooting. You don't want to be able to have that usable light and see something and be like, okay, I definitely see it's a person, but you want to see what kind of person that is, who that is, are they threatening, do they have a weapon? So definitely having a nice mix between usable light and positive ID light. So those are two definitely things you want to look at. I don't even have the batteries in this anymore because I don't use it, and I probably personally wouldn't put it on another gun that was for concealed carry, just because I could see it causing a little bit of issue with the fact of being able to have positive ID, but that would be the absolute lowest I would personally go. I think this 100 lumen one is really good. I actually am pretty impressed with how bright it is. The laser is also a nice little feature. I usually don't run lasers on them, but it does have the combo, so it's a nice little feature. The battery life on this is very unimpressive. It's an hour runtime. So, I mean, I like to always go up and do a lot of training, dry fire training, and turning it on and getting comfortable with it. you might as well buy a bunch of extra batteries because this is not going to last you long. Now, these ones have a longer runtime, but they do have bigger batteries. So runtime's not very impressive on these really small lights, so that's going to be something you're going to want to look into. So I do think that these 100 lumen lights are still good. You're just gonna have to really, really focus on those limitations and know your limitations, because if you go out into an open area and you're gonna want to turn your light on to get a positive ID on somebody or engage because you're getting engaged on, you really need to be careful, because you're really setting yourself up as a target and a spotlighting yourself by turning this on if it's too far out to be able to even see anything. So as long as you're keeping this within its means and its limitations, I think you'll be fine with getting something like this. And I even think this is a really good idea. Also, I should throw in there, this is my wife's gun. I mean, I could rock a Tiffany blue gun, but this is one of her handgun concealed guns that she carries. So I definitely do think there are benefits to these, and I don't see a problem with running something with this low of lumens. So would I recommend this and spend my own money on it? I would. I definitely would if this is what I was carrying. I personally carry a Glock 19. I also carry a subcompact. I carry a Springfield Hellcat. And for something like that, I don't carry a light because I carry different guns depending on different situations. If I'm going out to a bigger city, or I know it's going to be dark by the time I get home, or I'm going to somewhere somewhat dark, I take this all the time. I make sure I have a gun with a good light, a little bit more capacity, and something I'm a little more comfortable with to shoot a little farther. If I'm going to be out at daytime, I know I'm going to be back before it goes dark, and I want something a little bit more comfortable to carry, I'll carry the Springfield just because it's small, it's compact, there's no light on it, so I really don't need a light, because I don't really foresee me putting myself in those positions that I'm going to need a light, which things happen. I mean, obviously it could happen, but depending on what I'm doing, I carry different things. So I personally don't have a light like this, but I'm really considering getting one for Kayla, because I do think it is nice to have a light like this, especially if this is the only gun that you're carrying. So basically, if you have a gun like this, I definitely recommend getting something with 1,000 lumens, because if you can put it on there and you can conceal it, then why not do it? I mean, you might as well have the best out there. If you're going to choose between these two, this is definitely the far superior light for obvious reasons. But again, if this is the only thing you're carrying and this is all you can put on there, because there's really not a lot of options with guns that don't have pick rails or any other way to attach a light, this is kind of all you got. So for that, definitely a good little option. So I definitely think that 100 lumens is about as low as I would go, especially for nowadays. And the thing is, with the way lights are going and the higher lumens and Candela and everything these companies are coming out with, I think you're going to see a lot of these smaller lights coming up even higher and reaching those 200 lumens, 300 lumens, and hopefully up to the 400, 500 lumen marks. And there might even be some in the market. I'm really not super well versed on compact lights like this. I use a lot more larger lights, so I'm not super well versed on these. So let me know in the comments what your guys' favorite conceal carry light is, and we can go over those as well. But those are my thoughts on this, and I'm going to be answering a lot of questions like this here in the next couple weeks, because I've been getting a lot of questions on DMs on Instagram, and instead of just typing them out and letting everybody know, kind of having the same conversation over and over, which isn't a problem. I love helping people out, but it's really nice to be able to have a video for these questions and be able to just refer to them. Hey, this is my thoughts, but if you'd like to look into it further, you can check out this video. So I've been working on some videos here answering my most asked questions. This was one of them, and just really helped out that Tom was able to give me this light to be able to use for a little bit. So I might not give it back. I think it's a good looking look for this gun. So again, thank you for that. And if you guys want to help me out on the channel and the things I do here, there's a couple ways to do that. There's a link down in the description that gets you straight to my website. From there, there's links that you can use. If you purchase anything using my links, just gives me a small kickback, which is a huge help with the page and buying camera equipment, ammo, editing software, things like that. And it just shows that I'm generating traffic. Also, there's Patreon down there as well. I've been really busy, so I've been really slacking on the Patreon. I want to thank Jimmy. He's one of my top patrons, and he helps me out a ton, and I really appreciate him for that. Like I said, I've been slacking on Patreon because I have just been so busy with school, work, social media, getting these reviews done, part-time jobs and things like that. It's been a really tough couple weeks, couple months, and it's gonna keep going, but we'll get through it. And I appreciate you guys for supporting me and being here. If you guys like the content, enjoy what I do here, please subscribe and like, and consider commenting those things. That does help a lot. So I thank you guys so much. And another company that supports me a ton is Howitzer. They give 5% of proceeds to charities, which is a really cool thing, and I love their clothes. I wear their clothes all the time, so if you guys want to check them out, there's a link in the description. And this is my new range gun. Well, I shouldn't say new, I've had this for a while, but it's newly set up. I just got the SRO. I got a CHPWS plate on here, which I'm going to be doing a review on here shortly, showing the difference between the MOS plate and these plates, the benefits of them. But this gun is pretty cool. I'm going to be using this in school at the academy. I'm probably going to be qualifying with this just because why wouldn't you want to? It's fun. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff with this here soon. If you guys want to see more on that, I post daily on my Instagram channel, and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.